Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai.
I was in South Africa recently for 2 months, and last year when I was there I had started a small exercise with the group, and it was a presence exercise. So what we would do is that 5 weeks I have daily lectures in only one temple, so it's the same group for 5 weeks. And before we started the lecture, we would do this exercise. So I think, shall we do the exercise? Yes. Right? And then we'll start. Can we have the music from somewhere? Everybody won't be able to hear it. Yeah. They won't be able to hear it. Let's see if she's... Yeah?
Keep it close to him because he has a mic.
Can you hear? Okay. Just close your eyes. Breathe with the music. Feel the breath. The breath carries the rhythm, and the breath merges with every cell of the body. It merges with the blood, taking the rhythm to every cell of the body. Feel the rhythm in every cell of the body. We'll relax the body. Take your attention to the head. Relax the top of the head. Relax the forehead. The 2 eyes and around the eyes. The nose. The 2 ears, the 2 cheeks, the lips, the tongue, the teeth, the chin. Relax the neck, the 2 shoulders. There's a lot of tension in the shoulders. Relax the shoulders, the 2 hands. Relax the back, the chest, the stomach, the abdomen, Keep breathing with the music. The two legs. Move through the body once. Any area not relaxed, relax it. Feel the body as an empty vessel. Just the breath moving in and out with the rhythm. Now in this empty space, fill it with your presence. Fill it with the feeling of I. Your presence comes from a higher dimension. Let it enter into the body. Let it fill the body. Try to separate the two feelings, the feeling of body, the feeling of presence. Two separate things they are. The feeling of I, the feeling of body. The I is occupying the body as we occupy a hotel room. It is just filling the space of the body. It is permeating the body. Try to sense the I. Feel the I. The I is your presence. It is God. With presence, all worries go away. All tensions dissolve. Presence is always. There is no past, there is no tomorrow. Just presence. Feel the presence. Hold the presence. Presence brings joy, just the touch of presence. It brings elevation, upliftment. Feel the breath, feel the presence. Try to separate the two feelings. Try to hold both the feelings together. The feeling of I, the feeling of the breath. Breath is in the present moment. Presence is in eternity. It is two times which meet here. Our body is in this linear time, this horizontal time of birth to death. Presence was before birth and after death. It is always. Feel the breath in the present moment. Feel the presence in eternity. See how our being extends across two times. Slowly, I'll switch off the music. Try to hold your presence throughout the session. You're listening in the present moment, but there's something beyond, which is your presence. Hold your presence. Slowly open your eyes. Holding of presence. Being present to the present. Holding presence in the present. Very, very important. So keep practicing this in the day whenever you have time. Just to be, not to become. The minute you are a father or a mother or you're a name, you've become something. But just a presence is just to be. Just being. Holding of presence. And presence is God. Okay. What do we want to talk about? Anything you all say.
Yesterday you said about sex and that you are going to speak today.
I'll take it tomorrow. I'm going to speak a little bit about love today. False personality, I'll take that. The feeling of love. The feeling of love. Can we use the energy of love and how does the energy of love move? Supposing we enter into a relationship, what is the aim, the objective of that relationship? What is the aim, the objective of that relationship?
Should last.
No, that is why I did the exercise first. That's why I just did the exercise.
Presence.
The opposite person must allow the other person to invoke his or her presence, to bring his or her presence. Now, yesterday we talked about essence, personality. When two people come together, what comes together? Does personality come together or does essence come together? Personality comes together. So, I am attracted to a person on the basis of what my personality likes or dislikes. And is it the same as what the essence likes and dislikes? Now, both are in different times. Personality is in the present moment. Essence is in eternal time. Try to understand this. So we are now going to move into a relationship. So two personalities come together, but because the personality is in the present moment, what remains together? Two essences. The personality goes away after some time. Right? And the essence may not like and never likes what the personality has chosen. So now what happens? Now what happens in the relationship? There is fault finding. There is fault finding. And now this is the second. So the first stage, the two personalities are attracted to each other. Then of course the personality has only power in the present moment. So after some time the personality and two essences open up. And because the essence never likes what the personality likes, and the personality never likes what the essence likes, unless the personality, there is consciousness behind the personality. So now, What happens in the second stage of the relationship? There is fault finding in the relationship. Now, what is the aim of us coming together? Why have we come together? What is the aim in the relationship? If I'm wrong, you can tell me. Can you get what I'm trying to say? Now, what is the aim in the relationship, in the second stage of the relationship? And this is very, very important. Very important. What is the outcome of? There is suffering. There is suffering. Then of course, according to the Hindu scriptures, we don't have divorce. So we adjust. It's compromise, it's an adjustment made. Right? And it goes on. And right? So then nobody moves ahead of the second stage of the relationship. And what is the second stage of the relationship? The transformation of suffering. The transformation of suffering. Right? So I am attracted to someone. Right? The personality has been attracted to someone. After some time, the personality becomes little loose, the essence comes out, and the essence realizes that, I'm attracted to something else. Right? And there is fault finding and there is suffering in the relationship. You were not here yesterday? Oh. You were not here last time also? Last time I'd taken, you were not here? Okay. At least the word has remained. Nitin bhai. Okay. See, your sankalp is more powerful. Talk on false personality. Romantic guy like me, I want to talk on love. Okay. What we call being. So I can see your face. Why don't you come up here? I'll know whether you've understood or not, and whether next time it just remains a word or. Right? What we call being, the self, is composed of three parts. Right? One is called essence. It is this essence which looks for a mother and father. It wants to take birth. The essence is raw. Most people's essence is very wild. Most people's essence is very lazy. This essence wants to get transformed into something. It can become God. It wants to transform. Right? That is why you see many times people come to learn the refining exercises, and after some time you meet them, I did it for 1 month, then I cannot, because they learned through their personality. You understand? And the essence is lazy. Everybody's essence is basically lazy. It does not want to do. You see? And that essence has to be transformed it is like a refining of the essence. So it comes into a school, and that is the school of life. Right? So to come into the school of life, it looks for a mother and father. This is our real side, the essence. The real side. Right? Now, through a mother and father, it takes birth. It takes a body, right? And the body is then given a name. And on that name is formed a personality. Now, when we go deeper into the concept of personality, we will go into what Gurdjieff calls as many eyes. Many eyes. But just now, we will just take personality as all the roles which we play in life. Supposing you have come here as a student, then you are playing the role of a student. You go home to your wife, you are playing the role of a husband. You may go to meet your father or mother, you are playing the role of a son. Right? So, every moment in life we are playing some role. We are playing some role. And there are umpteen amount of roles which we are playing. And the collection of all those roles is my personality. Is my personality. Right? So, this personality is like a skin on the essence. The essence is the real part which takes birth. It borrows DNA from the mother. It borrows DNA from the father. It needs that DNA to become a body. Right? And then that body is given a name, and over the years a personality is formed which is like a skin on the essence. It is like a skin on the essence. Right? See, Krishna is telling Arjun that you have to shed this body like you're shedding a piece of clothes, a set of clothes. He's not talking of the physical body. He's talking of the personality. He's talking of the personality. Right? Okay. So all the roles come in the personality. This is not my real side. This is my acquired side. My acquired side. Right? So we have a real side, we have an acquired side. And then I have a false personality. This is my imaginary side. Right? With every role I have an imaginary side. With every role I have. So I have a collection of roles in my personality. With every role I have an imagination of my role. Supposing I'm teaching, then I have an imagination of myself as a teacher. That is my imaginary side. That is not my, what you call, acquired side. It is created out of imagination. I've woven it out of imagination. Right? So supposing you say that somebody is teaching better than you, then that imaginary side of mine is hurt. And I defend it. You get it? And I may defend it in different ways. Oh, I may tell you some weakness of that teacher which you don't know. You see? To bring him down and take myself up. You get what I'm trying to say? So, all that comes in my imaginary side. I imagine I am better than him. So, with every role in life, you have an imaginary side. If you have a father, you have an imagination of yourself as a father. If I say you're not looking after your children properly, then it will hurt you. Because it is hurting that imagination that you have of a father. If you're doing a job, you have an imagination of yourself as an employee or a professional, whatever. Get it? So, the false personality, it is totally false. It is nothing but imagination. It is a collection of pictures and pictures that I have of myself. And 99.99% of all my suffering is imaginary. There's no real suffering in my life. You called me something. She did not give me a chair to sit on. Huh? Most of my suffering is everything imaginary. And this imaginary side is always walking couple of steps ahead of me. So before I come to your home in my physical form, my imaginary side has already reached your home, that when I reach your home, you will offer me a chair, you will offer me a cup of tea, you will do this, and when I come and you don't do anything, I'm hurt. It's all imagination. It's all imagination. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? So we have a huge imaginary side. Right? And this is false. Now, initially when Gurdjieff brought in this terminology of essence and personality, he had not brought this part out, false personality. So wherever you read Gurdjieff's original writings, there is no talk of false personality. It has later been added by students of Gurdjieff and Ouspensky. Not in Ouspensky's writing, not in Gurdjieff's original writing. But it's very, very relevant, and I think they have really improved upon Gurdjieff's work when they are talking about false personality. Things become so easy to understand. So easy to understand. Now, what constitutes false personality? What constitutes false personality? The first thing is self-love. This is, how does self-love come in? How does self-love come in? We are given a name. We are given a name. Say your name is Nitin, right? So you are given a name. Right? This Nitin within you creates a feeling of I. When you are using the word I, you are talking about this, but this is a part of your acquired side. You have no feeling of I of this. Can you understand? Whenever we use the word I, what do we include in the feeling of I and what do we exclude in the feeling of I? No, we don't take in essence. I mean otherwise. Otherwise. When I use the word I, I'm saying so much, no? In that one word, when I say I'm saying so much. I don't realize it. What am I saying in the word I? How much am I putting inside I? How much am I? I don't know what degree you have. Maybe some engineering degree. I don't know. Huh? Right? So when you say I am Nitin, do you include that engineering degree in that? Yes. Automatically. Yes. Automatically. Right? You may have a feeling that you're a good father. So when you say I to someone, do you include that feeling that I'm a good father? So, you see, as the consciousness broadens, when we use the word I, how much are we including in that feeling of I? And what do we exclude? Suppose you call me, hey, you're very selfish. I'll say I am definitely not selfish. So when I say the word I, am I including selfishness? No, I'm excluding it. Definitely I'm selfish. But when I use the word I am not including that selfishness. So it's a very big thing. Just the feeling of I, using of the word I, how much am I including in the feeling of I, how much am I excluding in the feeling of I. And all this comes in this self-love. Self-love. So, what happens when somebody gives you a name Nitin? You use the word I, you create something which is called an imaginary I. Can you see? In that imaginary I, as you grow up, so many things are added, so many things are subtracted. And it is this I which you are using is a big collection of so many things. Right? Recently somebody came to meet me and he gave me his card. Right? So his name was something and down it was ex-minister Gujarat government. Can you see? So, in that feeling of I, whenever he is saying, I am this person, he is saying, I was once a minister of the Gujarat government. Can you see that feeling of I? All this is imagination. All this is imagination. So, all of us have an imaginary I. And of course, it's written on his card, ex-minister Gujarat government, right? So, he is definitely fallen in love with imaginary I. All of us fall in love with this. First the name creates an I. We fall in love with that I. Please, this is very, very subtle. Please understand this. I have been, a young boy has died in an accident. I have been to the father just to offer condolences. He's saying, આ છોકરાઓ અમારા પેરેન્ટ્સનું વિચારતા જ નથી, આવી રીતે ગાડી ફાસ્ટ ચલાવે છે. Can you see the self-love? They don't realize what suffering they are giving to the parents. Can you see? It cannot be hidden. Self-love. Self-love. Get it? So, everything false is created out of self-love. I love myself. I was the president of the club. I love myself. I have to write it in my card. Ex-president of this. Right? And when I talk about myself, I'll say I talked over here, I talked over there, I this. All this is a part of my self-love. So false personality starts with self-love. Imaginary I. Name gives a feeling of I. Fall in love with I. We're talking about love. We cannot love unless this self cancels itself. Then what remains is love. What remains is love. The whole journey is to dissolve self. We have to do nothing for love. Love is already there. Okay. Now, this false personality expands. I'll finish your question. It expands. What is the next thing which comes in false personality? Self-love. With self-love comes self-interest, self-liking, everything. So I'm not going into all that. Right? What comes next? What is the next? Pride and vanity. Pride and vanity. Right? They are part of the false personality. You have to observe the working of both of these within ourselves, pride and vanity. Vanity is always moving ahead. I go to his home, he must give me a cup of tea is vanity. Right? Now, pride can move with vanity, then both are stuck together. And pride can separate from vanity. Even if he doesn't give a cup of tea to me, then I have pride, I'll be happy. Can you understand? So sometimes pride and vanity move together, sometimes they move against each other, right? Supposing somebody's son has come first in the exam and the parents are, introducing him to everybody. So you see, now as they introduce him, if he's feeling a little shame inside, little, what do we call, that he doesn't like all this, then you can see vanity and pride are moving in opposite directions. Pride, he doesn't like this, that he's being introduced to everyone. And vanity loves to be introduced to everyone. Can you understand? So these are two components of the false personality. And as we observe false personality, we have to observe the working of these. Vanity we have to kill completely. Vanity we kill completely. When I buy a new car, or I buy a new pair of shoes, then pride, if somebody sees, then they'll say something. So pride ko thoda sharam aata hai. But vanity, who's looking at me when I'm driving the car? That's vanity. So either pride and vanity are moving together or they are moving in opposite directions. It is a question of self-observation. Pride is used for your personal growth. And vanity is killed altogether. In Mahabharata, we have the very famous story of how Bhim kills Hidim. Hidim is vanity, and he marries his sister, pride, Hidimba. Right? He marries his sister, pride, Hidimba. Right? So, yes. What else comes in false personality? What else comes? Self-pity. I'll take self-pity last. This is the lowest. It is the lowest. I don't want to take it immediately. Jealousy and like pride and vanity. What is the pair of jealousy? Both move together. Envy. Jealousy, envy. Jealousy, envy. Jealousy can be again used positively. Dual. It is dual. Right? I am jealous of you, but I can make an effort to be better, even in the outside world. Forget the inner world. Even in the outside world, it may become an impetus for me to work better. I want to be better than you. Okay. It's jealousy. But envy is lazy. Envy does not want to make that effort. Envy says, forget about becoming better than him. Pull him down to me. So I'll spread rumors about him. You understand what I'm trying to say? So again, jealousy and envy can move together also, and they can move separate also. Right? And it needs observation inside. In jealousy, you want to hurt the other. In envy, you want to hurt the other person. You want to bring him down. Right? In jealousy, it could be positive also. So again, envy has to be killed and jealousy transformed. These are all parts of the false personality. What else comes in the false personality? I'm very quickly going in because with this her question can be answered also. All the parts of the false personality. What else comes in the false personality? No, irritation is all a byproduct. Say I'm jealous, I'm feeling jealousy, then before jealousy there will be irritation, dislike. No, all that is a part of this, the byproduct. What we are talking, what are the components of the false personality? Come on, very easy. Next one. It goes with vanity. It always goes with vanity. Always goes with vanity.
Fame. Fame.
No. Always it goes with vanity. I am always defending myself. Justification. I am always defending myself. Right? Vanity. Right? I get up in the morning, I do my meditation, I do this, I do that, I'm talking about it, it's all vanity. And then you will say, but yesterday you were at my house, you did not get up. And I'll say, oh, but I'll defend myself. I have to defend my vanity. But that is only one day. Rest of the days I always get up. Can you understand? So whenever you have to defend yourself, whenever the inner lawyers come up, and there are so many I's in the personality who are very good at arguing. Right? All that is a part of justification. We keep on justifying ourselves. And it is all a part of false personality, an imaginary side. Remember, the truth never has to be defended. The truth never has to be defended. Somebody has drawn a cartoon of some god, and it has to be defended, it has to be false. It can never be true. Right? If somebody feels that they are insulting Hindu gods in some movie, it can never be true, because the gods can never be insulted. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? If something has to be defended, it can never be true. It is always false. Right? So justification. Anything else? Anything else? Finally, self-pity, lowest. We cannot go lower than self-pity. Self-pity. Right? Self-pity. These are all emotions, fear and all. Not a part of the false. The fear can lead to an imaginary side. I may have fear inside, but I show that I don't, then it is my vanity. You understand? So, right? Self-pity will also lead to a very, very, very negative state called internal considering. But it is a part of self-pity. Self-pity. I'll just touch upon it. What is self-pity? Self-pity is a huge subject, very, very vast subject. That is the normal interpretation of self-pity. Right? Nobody bothers about me. Complain. Nobody cares about me. My phone has been lying since morning, nobody has phoned me once also. Nobody cares. Right? Okay, of course switched off. Self-pity. I was ill, but you didn't bother to ask. I lost my money, you never bothered about me. This is the normal. All our bhajans, when we sing them, are self-pity. Be very careful. Right? And if, of course, some of them have been written, many of them have been written by enlightened souls. And they have deep meaning in the bhajan, but when somebody sings it, he sings it out of self-pity. So he ruins it completely. If Meera is crying in the bhajan, this fellow will start crying when he's singing, and that ruins the bhajan. She's crying in a higher dimension, and I don't know where he's crying. That is why I never go for any bhajan programs. So they make a mess out of it. So self-pity. Self-pity. Right? What else comes in self-pity? The most important thing. Okay, you did not phone when I was ill. What is it? It is a part of something called this is a part of self-pity. It is not a part of the false personality. Self-pity is a part of the false personality. And from self-pity, I am always considering myself. Always considering myself. He did not phone me. He did not look after me. My parents didn't do anything for me. My friends don't bother about me. I'm always considering myself. Another name for internal consideration is inner accounting. I am always accounting for myself, right? Okay, now what is another thing, another part of internal considering? Yeah.
In part is self-pity if only.
Pardon?
Self-pity, if only. How to one?
1 minute. What else? What else? Acceptance. Now use that acceptance. What is the second part of self-pity? Use that acceptance.
Feel victimized and you still want
Yeah.
to compromise.
A sense of justice. A sense of justice. Huh? So if I feel I don't know how to express it in English, but if I feel that મારી સાથે અન્યાય થઈ રહ્યું છે, so what do we call it? It's not exact in English by saying you're not doing justice to me is not the real interpretation, but you'll understand what I'm trying to say. I'm a victim of injustice, yeah, but it doesn't convey this thing. What Gujarati?
I didn't do anything, but still it happened to me.
હા, નહીં, મારી સાથે અન્યાય થઈ રહ્યું છે. Anyay, like two brothers will say, my mother loves my elder brother more, or my mother loves my younger brother more. There's a sense that things are not fair. Fair. Anyay thai ryu che. Is that acceptance? You see, acceptance is a very big word, very, very big word. Right? So, I will feel, my parents gave more attention to my brother or something. And this happens, huh? This happens because you get so many, this thing, right? Or you may feel it in school also, that the teacher favors somebody more. And you see, we cannot see all the invisible causes behind events. We had a talk with students, so we were talking about how to study for the exams and all that. And one of the things we were discussing was the different centers of energy in the body and how much it allows you to study and how one center, they're all accumulators, batteries inside. Right? Okay. So another is fair and unfair. Third thing, if only. Mr. Tawaria used to always say, a student of spirituality, he cancels if only. If only I had met another girl. Huh? If only. Huh? Right? And we have so many if onlys. If I had not invested all my money in the market. If only. Right? We have so many if onlys in our life. Right? So, all this is a part of self-pity. I pity myself. All this is a part of false personality. And this takes years of observation. To discriminate between all of this and to be free of all of this. You keep on falling back into it. Again you rise. Again you fall back into it. Right?
How much is there some about fear that goes into self-pity? Is there some about it?
Has to be. Has to be. There could be fear. There could be a feeling of insufficiency. Right? That I'm downtrodden upon, looked down upon. Right?
What about self-loathing? Self-loathing.
All that will come in self-pity. Self-pity. I'm crying about myself. Right? Right? See, it can take many forms, this internal considering. Sometimes we love to talk about our sufferings. We love to talk about our sufferings.
What we dislike. Things that we dislike about ourselves.
No, our sufferings. Like say, I had a friend who I came and I put him up at my mother's house. Now he came with his dog. And his dog was messing up all my mother's sheets and, Everything, and my mother was in this thing. So he stayed for a few days, and it was hell everywhere with the dog everywhere. And then he left. And then my mother had a field day, talking about how this person and what his dog was doing. And, so we love to talk about our sufferings, right? It all comes from self-pity. Self-pity. Right? So, tell me, this is all false personality. It's all imaginary, and it has to go. Self-pity. Self-pity. When I want others to give me attention in any way, I may cut my wrist and also ask for your attention. Right?
Working on fear can solve quite a lot.
And why is self-pity the most powerful? Why is it the most powerful? Why is it the most powerful? Supposing I've fallen in love with a girl and that girl leaves me. What does that self-pity do? Now I'm this self-pity. I can't live without this girl. What does it do?
It can be a motivating force.
Hmm?
It can be
Why is it the lowest? Why is it the lowest, self-pity? Why is it the lowest? It gets rid of the fear of death. Normally I'm frightened of death, but now I don't bother about committing suicide. This girl has left me. Can you see? Self-pity is the most powerful. It is more powerful than death. If I feel nobody bothers about me in the world, I can commit suicide, no? And it happens. All the suicides are what? Self-pity. That is why self-pity is the most powerful of the lot. Because it overcomes the fear of death. It overcomes the fear of death. Yeah? It takes hard work to work with self. So you have to observe internal considering, where you're doing inner accounting all the time. And this happens in small matters, we are inner accounting. Because in my observation, I have seen that even going to a store, in Gujarat, in between there was a...
So when self-observation is happening, it has to happen without any lack of, let's say, self-pity.
No, you're observing the self-pity. You're observing the self-pity. Say, I went to a store. Now it's a simple matter in Gujarat. There was a shortage of coins. So the shop fellow, instead of giving you the change, he gives you some sweets. But the monkey starts chattering. Okay, even in this he's taking profit. He's making a fool of me. Can you see the self-pity? I'm already accounting inside. So it doesn't have to be a big thing. Right? You can observe it in very, very small things. He put his car a little bit into my parking space. Can you see the self-pity? I'm now accounting. Right? So it doesn't have to be a big thing. But what I'm trying to say, it's self-pity is a very huge range because it always leads to these different types of inner accounting. Inner accounting. Right? And the blame is always outside. The blame is always outside. Right? So that is the false personality in a nutshell. Right? You got what is essence? Essence, right? So essence is our real side. The essence does not grow. It grows for some time in childhood. But it does not grow because it needs a personality to grow. But then the personality does not feed the essence, it feeds the false personality. Only when consciousness comes, when understanding comes, that the personality now feeds the essence at the cost of the false personality. The very dissolving of the I, of the ego, becomes food for the essence. It only eats one food, ego, false personality. only eats one food, the essence. And in that it grows. In that it grows. Right? Jeev. 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 Abhiman and Mithya Abhiman, if you can say, I would suppose. Huh? Vyaktitva is personality, and Abhiman could be false personality. Dambh. So essence is raw, right? So two people meet, and two personalities. When personality is very polished, and then the raw essence comes out, and they have to live together.
Can we have a second chance, sir?
Huh? You do the same thing. You have to transform this chance. Huh? If you ask for a second chance, you'll do the same thing. You'll not change anything. Right? So the second stage in any relationship is transformation of suffering. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does it mean?
Clear vision.
What happens?
Personality and false personality. In the right clear vision of essence.
No, just the transformation of suffering. Where does the suffering come from? I've entered into a relationship with someone. Now, what things are going to bring about suffering? Supposing we have only one TV at home. Right? Right? Now the suffering is going to start. She wants to watch Saas Bhi Bahu Thi. Right? I want to watch CSI. Now only one TV. Both are at the same time. What is the meaning? What do we have to do over here? Somebody has to sacrifice the suffering, the joy of sacrifice, not the joy of watching your TV. The joy of sacrifice. Somebody has to sacrifice suffering. So the second stage in any relationship is sacrifice. And the only thing we can sacrifice is our suffering. We have nothing else to sacrifice. We can sacrifice everything else, but not suffering. Not suffering. Right? If your son is ill, and I say you sacrifice your suffering. Right? It's a big thing to sacrifice suffering. To sacrifice. So the second stage in any relationship is sacrificing of suffering. And in that there is transformation of suffering. Transformation of suffering. It's a long process, very long process. It takes years for the marriage to mature. And many times you fall down into fights, into differences. Right? You bring consciousness. You understand the other. You sacrifice. Right? So the first stage is physical attraction. Right? There's a physical attraction. The second stage is the personality goes and the essences come, so all the differences start coming out. Then there's a transformation of the suffering which arises out of the differences. And what is the next stage? The next stage. What is the next stage? No, without acceptance you won't move anywhere. If I don't accept it, then you can watch whatever program, you go outside and watch it. I'm watching my program just now. It happens because cases have come to me, where this one TV. I don't know, once in one talk, I was talking about how the husband and wife had a fight because the bathroom was wet. So, and it seems that morning one husband and wife had a fight over the bathroom being wet. And they came to me after the talk. And the husband was telling me, you've opened my eyes, because I said, if a bathroom is not wet, what will be wet? So the husband says that this morning only we had a fight. She keeps the bathroom wet and I don't like a wet bathroom. So he says, you've opened my eyes. Now I'll never complain about a wet bathroom. So this is, how it's not the big things. It is the transformation of the small things. And then comes a next stage in the relationship. And this is the stage of what? Stage of what? Now all the differences have gone away. Complementing. Where you complement the other. Here now there was differences with the other, now you complement the other. And this is a dance of awareness, a dance of consciousness. You know what she wants and you complement it. Now you have risen above suffering. Now you don't have to sacrifice suffering. There is so much joy that there is joy in complementing. And each moment in the relationship you complement. How do we complement? How do we complement?
I know from where she is coming.
What complements? How do we see ourselves? What kind of consciousness of self do we need to complement the other? In a relationship, and this is not just our relationship, it is universal also. But we start with a relationship. Huh?
To raise a sensitivity.
Right, sensitivity, but what do we have to see in ourselves that we can complement the other?
One falls to see the other side of the person.
Yeah, but we have to see that I am not just male, I am male and female, both. Even if my body is male, I am male and female, both. And I am not complementing the outer female. Unless I can complement the outer female, how will I merge with my inner female? How will the inner male and female merge? If I have differences with my wife, then I have differences with my own self. Because my wife is just an extension of my hidden side. Is this coming across? She is just an extension of that inner female. Everyone is 50% male, 50% female. Now how do we complement? How do we complement? How do we complement? See, if I'm getting angry on my wife just because of my mechanicalness, my identification, I don't realize I'm getting angry on my inner female. Can you see how the karma is built? Try to see this. Try to see this in a broadening perspective. Now, What do I realize in this whole dance of complementing each other? This whole movement of complementing each other. What do I realize in this? I wrote notes on something else, on the energy of love. We have moved somewhere else. What do I realize? That basically in the whole of nature there are two energies, male energy and female energy. And every moment in life is a chance to complement. It is not just my wife now any longer. The minute I disagree with you about something, then two like energies are meeting. Then it is not a meeting of male and female. Now we are talking at a psychological level of marriage, not a physical level of marriage. Each person you meet, either a male energy is meeting you or a female energy is meeting you. If somebody is very angry and upset with you, male energy is meeting you. Become receptive, become female, and complement that energy. And in that complementing, there is a psychological meeting of male and female. There is a sexual meeting every moment in life. It is universal. Then life is just a dance of these two energies. Every moment you are complementing. Right? Then there is no disagreement with anyone. Because which energy, female energy comes to meet you, you become male energy. And there is again a meeting of male and female. And in that, what happens? In that, what happens? There is a merging of the male and female. Each moment in life, every person you meet in life, there is a marriage of the male and female, inner marriage of the male and female, a psychological marriage of them. There is a consummation of that marriage of the male and female. And in that, that Dvait becomes Advait. Oof. You've gone beyond. Gone beyond. This is the art of relating. The art of relationship. To enter into a relationship with responsibility. Two presences coming together. Two essences coming together. They're coming with the aim of growing. They're coming with the aim of maturing into that divinity. Merging. And that is why that is why those who don't get married and they wear orange clothes and all, it's a dry life. I don't know where spirituality must be so far away. A dry life. There's no the joy of relating. That is why Radha Krishna's relationship will divide into three parts. The first part is where they physically meet. So we'll call that as Radhe Gopal. Where they physically meet. They meet together in this place called Vrindavan. Gokul, and then they go to Vrindavan at a certain age. There's a physical meeting with each other. Go means the senses, the five senses. That is why I use the word Gopal. Gopal means the physical form. The physical form. The physical form meets. Right? And they meet till Krishna is 11 years, 11 months, 11 days. So beautifully put. So beautifully put. And then he leaves, never to come back. Never to come back. And it's a big question. Why didn't he come back? If he really loved her, why didn't he come back? He should have come back if he really loved her. Never came back. But the relationship then moved to another level, Radhe Krishna. From Radhe Gopal, it became Radhe Krishna. Krishna, the one who plows. Krishna, the one who attracts the black hole. And in that attraction, there is merging. There is merging. Now they complement each other. Now he has gone away and there's this yearning for him, which they call as virha. Virha in Bhakti Yoga used to play an important part. And she feels this longing for him. He's far away and she feels this longing for him. And in that longing for him, she dissolves. She dies into that longing. We don't need to enter into a relationship. We can just go to an ordinary store and we feel an attraction for something new and just dissolve into that. Why? The same feeling. Dissolving into that feeling of attraction. There's nothing remains. Nothing of the self remains. The self dissolves. What false can remain in that? So in that pain of virha, in that suffering of virha, she transforms that final suffering into something higher, joyous. And if Krishna had come back, he would have spoiled the whole thing. And that is why he did not come back. Because she was now entering into a higher realm. And if he had physically come back, then the whole movement, the whole inner process of growing into that would have been spoilt. Not I cannot live without you. You stay there. Living without you, I will die into you. I cannot live without you. If you don't come 2 days, I'll go into depression. Right? And in that she dissolves. It's a beautiful thing. The story of Radha and Krishna. And then the final point in the relationship when now nothing is separate. Radhe Shyam. Shyam means black. The darkness. Both have merged into the inky darkness. They've dissolved into that ultimate oneness. Now it is difficult to know who is Radha and who is Krishna. Gone. In the old days when they were together playing in Vrindavan, one day she had worn his clothes and he had worn her clothes. But this was just an indication that one day they will really dissolve into each other. Nobody will know who is Radha and who is Krishna. In the what you call language of the five tattvas, Shyam is called Akash. In the sky everything dissolves. Nothing remains. Nothing remains. And what remains? What remains? Just the sound of the flute. Because in that Akash Tattva, the guna of Akash is Shabda, the sound. And just the sound of the flute remains. Both have merged, both have gone, dissolved into Shyam, the black hole. Nothing remains. And that is what relationship is. And this is the relationship which our Shastras have taught us. What is relationship? This whole process of Radha Krishna, the whole cult of Radha Krishna, of merging into relationship, transforming the suffering, dissolving into each other, complementing each other, and reaching that state of zeroness or oneness.
You said the beginning yesterday that when we are born, we are the essence, and as we grow, we ultimately change over to false personality. But there is also a baggage that we carry of the previous birth. So when does that come into play? If that we are born in essence, then probably that baggage is also coming with the essence. So that
is it a baggage? Is it a baggage?
Baggage of karma, whatever we say.
That is what I'm trying to say. Is it a baggage? Okay, I'll just clarify a little bit of what is essence. What is essence? Then your question will become clearer. Can anyone tell me what is essence? What is essence? What is the materiality of essence?
Consciousness. It is divine, right? Lecture divine, right?
Divine, huh?
Extract of what in totality, like essence in chemical industry we say.
Let's try to put it in some kind of map. See, the divine fragment does not experience. The soul experiences. This must be made clear. Right? So when we use the word essence, we mean soul. We mean soul. I thought I'd taken this last time. I had not explained this last time. See, this is just a rough idea. We are not... Right. Divine fragment. In old language, spirit. In our language, Atma. Divine fragment. Right? Now, it sends out a ray of light to experience the universe. It wants to experience, so it sends out a ray of light to experience and come back. Right? If it experiences something separate from itself, it realizes itself. That which is separate has been created from this. But it is like a mirror, that if he experiences something separate from himself, then he experiences himself. Tu che to hu chu. You get what I mean? But if you are not there, then I don't experience myself also. So Shiv is telling Shakti, Shiv opens his eyes, he's in sleep and he sees Shakti. He says, you, therefore I. It is not I, therefore you. You understand what I'm trying to say? So he sends out this ray. Like the sun sends a ray of light. The sun sends a ray of light on the earth. There is life on the earth. Right? Similarly, this sun which we call as spirit, it sends a ray, and that ray in the body-brain system gives life. It gives life. So we call that ray in old language as Jeev. Soul. Essence. Right? Now, what is the difference between this and this? I took this last time. I'm sure I took it. Huh? What is the difference between this and this? This is pure. This is pure. Spirit is pure. Soul, once the light goes out, it cannot remain pure. It is covered with a body. It is covered with a body. That body is made of a certain kind of matter. What matter? No. What matter? Planetary matter. Planetary magnetism, planetary matter. What is essence? Essence is nothing but planetary matter. Essence comes from the stars. It is a higher origin than the physical body. Right? It is coming from some other source. Right? So this ray of light covered with the clothes of a planetary body, or we can call it astral body, or whatever we want to call it, is called as soul. So spirit is pure, soul is light of the spirit plus planetary matter. Plus planetary matter. Is this clear? Huh? Right? This must be very clear. It is the soul which experiences, the spirit does not experience. It is the soul which travels. It is the soul which collects karma. The spirit does not collect karma. Clear on this point? I don't know your name, sir. What is your name? Gordon. Right? So, is this clear? Huh? Now, why is it given a planetary body? We wanted to take something light just now. Why is it given a planetary body? Why is it given a planetary body? Because it wants to experience. So, all experiences that we have in our psychic structure come from the planets. Just now we ate a good meal, so I am feeling satisfied. Where does that feeling of satisfaction come? Which planet allows me to feel satisfied? Jupiter. You understand what I am trying to say? Right? Just now you may be feeling sleepy, right? So, which planet is allowing you to feel sleepy? Saturn. You understand? It is the matter of Saturn which is creating a pattern of sleep within you. Now, please understand, when I use the word Saturn, it does not just mean pure Saturn. This is just to explain. Everything is a flux. Right? But just now I am very angry. So which planetary matter allows me to become angry? Martial. Right? I am a warrior. I want to go and fight with a sword or something. Can you understand what I am trying to say? Or maybe now you are interested in learning something. Then Mercury. Right? Each planet will have a positive side, a negative side. And it is these planets which create all the psychological structure in human beings, right? So, human beings can be seen from the laws of the planets in different ways. So, the spirit wants to experience, so it sends out a ray. That ray to experience needs planetary matter, right? And it is bound in planetary matter. The soul is bound in planetary matter. It is this planetary matter that we are talking of as essence. Planetary matter plus this ray. Now, once the ray has separated from the spirit, it has become soul. It has one desire to go back to spirit. But it has to go through the whole gamut of all human experiences. And in that gamut of human experiences, it creates a personal like and dislike. And these experiences keep on repeating. Right? And till it finds the consciousness to be free of all these experiences, it cannot be free of planetary matter and go back to the spirit. Is this getting clear? Right? Now, what is this light in our daily life? Now, see, divine fragment, ray, soul, light, body. So the ray which came out of the divine fragment, covered in planetary matter, and there is a step down, like you have a step down transformer at home, right? So the lines which are taking electricity to our home may be 200 volts, but the electricity which we are using in our home is 250 volts. So there is a series of step down. Similarly, from here to astral is a step down. From astral to physical, it is a step down. The 2200 volts has become 250 volts. What is that 250 volts of divine fragment in our lives? What is it? What is that light? What is that light? Attention. Attention. When attention goes on self, it creates awareness. The byproduct is awareness. But in the end, the whole game is of attention. Because attention has come from there and it is moving through the five senses for it to experience. Am I getting across? The most valuable substance in our life is attention. A dead body has no attention. The senses are still there. But because the senses, attention is not moving out of the senses, they cannot work. And attention is a very, very deep thing when we study Indian Shastra. Indian Shastra. We don't realize what is attention because our rishis have gone very, very deep into what is attention. No Western, spiritual treatise has gone so deep. Okay, now we come back to his question. This much is clear, so we'll now come to your question. Dhyan. Dhyan. See, attention goes out, it falls on an object. So there is the seer inside, there is the object outside, there is a process of seeing. This process of seeing is called as? What is it called? In Indian Shastra, what do they call? Darshan. Darshan. And before there were any religions, Hinduism is not a religion. It's a stupid term, Hinduism. Those who lived on the banks of the Indus, they were called Hindu, and they became Hindu. I don't know. Even if otherwise there was some river which represented what the Indian culture is, it is the Ganges. It has nothing to do with the Indus. It's the most stupid term, the Hindu, this thing. Right? Right? So, before there was any Hinduism or anything, there was darshan. Darshan, 5 darshans. The oldest, of course, is Sankhya, when no one knows, most of it is lost. Kapil Muni's 24 tenets are there, and then his disciples, some things are remaining. So, darshan is the process of seeing, how we use the light which has come from the divine fragment. In what way do you use it? See, today science is coming to it. It is coming to it. Science is saying that the process of observation is changing the experiment. Right?
There will
been correlations between Sankhya system and the observership phenomenon in quantum mechanics.
Yeah. The very observer, so if I look at a particle with love, it may make a different pattern than I look with hate. See, but they have been talking of this thousands of years ago. Sankhya is at least 25,000 years old. No? So, they are saying that when you're looking at this, it is a particle, but when you're not looking at it, it becomes a wave. But the darshan is saying the same thing. They're saying when you look at it with attention, because of attention it is there. When you're not paying attention to it, whether it is there or not, we don't know. Can you understand what? So, I don't want to go into all that. It's a very, very fascinating subject, very fascinating. Okay. Now, let's put attention on the side. What would be the otherwise, apart from attention, the most important thing in my life? Forget consciousness and everything. Just my normal life, what would be the most important thing? Huh? A moment of understanding. A moment of understanding. Right? How many moments of understanding? Start from when you were very young, very, very young. When you can remember, you went to school and somebody said that, okay, you remember 2 2s make 4, but you didn't understand what it is. Then somebody explained to you, it's become 4, right? And suddenly there's a flash of understanding. There's a flash of understanding. How many flashes of understanding? How many flashes of understanding? Numerous. It keeps on. Right? Now he's talking of karma. How is the karma built? How is the karma built?
Experiences.
No, let's talk of understanding. We'll talk of the other experiences later. First, let us talk of understanding. How is the karma built?
Identify.
No, the karma, the essence. The essence. He's talking of the backlog. The baggage. It's not baggage. Huh? How is it built? See, when we look at karma, we are looking at the events of life. Karma has nothing to do with the events of life. Absolutely nothing to do with the events of life. Right? Okay.
When we look outside, attention is outside, that time the karma is built. When the attention is taken inside, you are separate from it, so karma is not built.
No. When you sow a seed, karma is built. The seed now is going to follow a law. That law is karma. That law is karma. Now we just first finish this understanding. Supposing I've lived my life. Here I was 4 years old, I understood something, then I understood something, then I understood something, understood like this. These are all moments of understanding. These are all moments of understanding. Now what happens at death? What happens at death?
all these understandings are in a very precise point, they are accumulated and carried over. It's compressed.
Very good. Very good. They, like out of so many thousands of flowers, I make one drop of perfume, which is called as essence. It is called as essence. So these 1,000 flowers of understanding become one drop of essence. Now supposing I have not bothered to understand anything in my life. ये વધારે હસે છે. Okay. Then there's no essence built out of the understanding. So at the moment of death, this has become one drop. Say understanding is of the matter, higher understanding is of the matter of, say, a combination of, say, Jupiter plus Mercury. So this combination, it will make a pattern of this, and this will carry on in the essence. You understand what I'm trying to say? Now, when I'm born, as I grow, my intensity for understanding will be much more than it was previously. Of course, all the seeds are not watered, but I'm assuming all the seeds are not watered. Some remain seeds only. But supposing I get a normal capacity in my next birth to understand, then my quality of understanding will be this much extra. That has become my karma. Am I coming across? Right? Now, we do the same thing again, same exercise. But I'm a very angry person. So I'm angry here, right from my childhood, here. So what happens at death? All this anger is going to accumulate in a drop of essence. Right? Maybe it is made of the material of Mars. If it is depressive, you can add Saturn. Whatever. And that is going to continue in my essence. Right? Now that pattern of anger will have its own magnetic pull. It is going to invite such events in that new life where it can express itself. Because I've carried it forward. It is not baggage, it is an essence. You understand now what I'm trying to say? Right? So, all my experiences of this life at the point of death will become different drops of essence, and they will be added to what is called my time body. That is all my experiences I have ever collected. You get what I'm trying to say? Now, whether I have grown in this life or I have evolved more in this life is a different question. But it will depend on the final essence that is formed, and it is this essence which seeks a birth. Right? It's clear. बोलो. Yeah.
At this level of our life, are we evolving or involving at this stage? Are we going at the upper arc or are we going in the lower arc?
Humanity as a whole. Humanity as a whole is moving in the upward arc.
So we have already gone down to
Very good. Very, very good. What stage is humanity in? The whole of humanity. What stage is it in? So there is a process of what he is calling involution and evolution. Right? Mr. T in his book, The Purpose of Birth and Death, he calls it as the downward cycle and the upward cycle. Right? All divine fragments move through a downward cycle. This is the law. This is the law. Right? But at some time the divine fragment cannot move further. It cannot move further. Now it becomes a kind of general divine fragment. It is not an individual divine fragment. So, as it moves into lower regions, that is the animal, plant, and say we call mineral as nadir. Nadir. Till man, it is divine fragment. Then it is divinity. It is divinity. Animals do not have a divine fragment. They have a collective divinity. Right? Collective consciousness. Collective consciousness. So, there it is not an individual soul. It is a collective soul. Collective soul. Plants don't have an individual soul. They have a collective soul. So, the divine fragment reaches into Nadir, and from there, right, it moves up through evolution, and at the point of man, the divine fragment meets it again. Man has a divine fragment. Animals do not have a divine fragment. They have divinity. Right? So this must be made clear. The divine fragment, we say, invoke your presence. It comes from a higher realms. That is why we say, invoke your presence. Presence is the divine fragment. Be present over here. Invoke your presence. It comes from a higher dimension. But the body-brain system has come from a lower dimension. It has come from evolution. Right? Here they have a general mind. Here you have an individual mind. Man has an individual mind. Right? You want to go to office or not? It's up to you. You have an individual mind. Animals do not have an individual mind. What happens to one animal happens to all. If one comes in heat, all lions come in heat. Right? It is a general this thing. They don't have an individual decision making this thing. Right? One sunflower cannot say, I don't want to look at the sun today. Right? Today is holiday. It cannot say. It's a general law. They have to look. So they don't have an individual Atma over there. Right? So humanity is at that stage where the divine fragment has come back. Humanity is at that stage. Humanity is evolving, but now, because with the divine fragment comes self-consciousness, there is a possibility for personal evolution. Right? It is like this. Humanity is evolving on the upward arc, but that upward arc is like a spiral. You've seen in the old homes the spiral staircase. The spiral. Right? and it will take millennia upon millennia. But the spiral can also be climbed as a ladder. You can climb it as a ladder. That is the meaning of sadhana. That which will take millennia upon millennia, you just climb up as a ladder. And that is your individual choice. Okay, this is. Any other questions? Because half the people are sleeping, so. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll just take it.
The morning we dealt with the situation that someone has robbed of something and we deal with it. But what if that moment when it is happening, how do we deal with that? Someone has come to rob me at this point, what should be mine?
Then you play the game of life. What I'm trying to say is bring in consciousness. See, you all touch on individual events. For me, when I'm seeing one event, there are so many factors into that one event. What you may see as somebody robbing me, I may not see as robbing. You understand? Now, robbing is something that it comes with my and yours, I and my. If there's no I and my, what is robbing? There's nothing like robbing. If the I is dissolved, who can rob whom? There's no meaning. There's only one real robbing, and that is robbing of attention, which I'm doing just now. See, the whole effort is to be free of the personal. My, I. Now, if there is personal, there is robbing. If there is no personal, there is. Live your life, whatever, but try to understand this, that our aim is something different. It has nothing to do whether somebody robs me or does not rob me. It does have something to do with my idea of taking revenge on that person. Ne? In the night, I'm having a terrible dream. Right? In that terrible dream, I'm suffering a lot. Then again, I have another dream where somebody is torturing me a lot. Then I have another dream in which I'm in depression a lot. Then I have another dream in which I'm angry a lot. And one moment I awaken up. Has the dream gone, or is the dream going to follow me everywhere? I've woken up. So all this is a dream. And if I wake up from the dream, I've woken up from the dream. Of course, after the first moment of awakening, I will go back into the dream. These moments will slowly accumulate. It's not going to just be an instant thing. It happens to some people instantly, like it happened to that person who's written that book, Power of Now. What's his name? Eckhart Tolle. That's a rare case. In the night he went to sleep with depression. In the morning he had woken up from the dream. It was a rare case. Right? And then such people, it becomes very difficult for them to teach others. What are they going to teach? There's nothing they can teach the others. They not pass through the whole thing. Right? So, but once you wake up from the dream, you'll be pulled back in the dream. Does not matter. But it'll be different now. You know. And once you're totally out of the dream, every time you come back in the dream, it'll be there. So, the night is over and now day has come. Make a cup of coffee, and drink it as hot as possible, as fast as possible. And then immediately go to sleep. It can. The coffee to open up certain areas in the brain takes 20 minutes. Right? So you immediately go to sleep and put a timer for 20 minutes. And get up after 20 minutes. By then the coffee has taken its started, and you will get up extremely fresh. Want to try it now?
Why not tea? Both contains caffeine, coffee or
No, but coffee is more concentrated. Huh? શ્રીખંડ સાથે લે ને તું તાર બા દૂધ ન ચાલે આ આમાં દૂધ શું થાય યાર
Then again, if you answer that, that is milk. Whose milk? The cows or?
ગધેડાનું. To collect moments of understanding, ne? ને મુનશી પ્રેમચંદે લખ્યું છે ગધે કી આત્મકથા આઈ થિંક હા ને રાજ સાચે મુનશી પ્રેમચંદ આર વોટ યુ कॉल राष्ट्रीय कवि राष्ट्रीय लेखक इज रिटन वन एक गधे की कहानी इसमें इज रिटन के ऋषि मुनियों के सब सद्गुण किस में है गधे में है
Explain the timeline and the 4 types of karma. So you can.
He was asking that in the morning and I was avoiding. Okay, we'll take it. We take it. Let the tea come. Let the tea come. He was asking that in the morning. Let the tea come, then we'll start. Huh? Is that it?
Let's go back to the topic of love that we began from, and then we love and we went. So थोड़ा लोग और थोड़ा डार्क जाएंगे उससे भी.
तू वहां से यहाँ आया लव के लिए? हाँ?
आपसे प्यार नहीं है तो फिर यहाँ पे कैसा होता? और प्यार कैसे करने का वो सीखने भी तो बैठा होता है. ऐसा कोई है ऑटोमेटिक तरीका पढ़ने के लिए ऐसा 20 मिनट के अंदर?
What happens in love? Is it a heightened form of energy? Do things expand in love?
Lighting over the मालूम नहीं पड़ता. Light मार रहा है. If you can make your size bigger. It's tinted.
Can love be used for expansion of consciousness? How does it work? When you fall in love, that very subtle energy of love, can we work on that energy? Can we work on that energy? Consciously work on that energy. So the feeling starts when you fall in love with one person. But then that person should become passive. For us, that person becomes active. Right? And then love just becomes an excuse for everything else to come out, from possessiveness to jealousy to everything. Right? Can we use that feeling of love? Can we expand on the feeling of love where the person is not important, but the person is only important to that extent that that feeling has arisen in us? And then we use that energy. Can we see the world through the light of that energy? Then nothing will be negative. It will be so easy to work on negative emotions, because through the filter of love, through the glasses of love, nothing is ever negative. The idea is to hold that energy of love, and that needs will inside, dharana inside. We are not able to hold on to it. We are not able to look after it. We are not able to give the plant water when we don't allow it to grow. Now, what would be the first place we should start using this energy for expansion of this energy? What would be the first place? I want to hold on to this energy. It is God's gift. It's going to go away after some time. Then the ordinary life will just be there. But in that period when I'm in love, everything is so beautiful, so lovely, and I don't want to throw away this energy. How am I going to look after this energy? How am I going to look after this energy? What is the technique of looking after this energy? Bolo? Huh? No, how will in what direction will I take this energy initially that I can look after it? Love is a sensitivity, right? Love is an energy. It is something which we touch. There's a beauty about it. Now I want this to grow, expand. Now if I say this person I fell in love with is just an excuse. Now the person is not important. I'm talking about the energy. That is secondary. Whether she loves or does not love has no meaning at all. The question is that because of her or him, this energy has arisen. Now, how do I expand upon this energy? If I go to possess her, that's the end of the matter. It's gone. How do I expand on this energy? Pardon? Yes, but how will I allow it to expand? It has to move from one person to many people. I'm not talking about sex. I'm not talking about having multiple affairs. I'm talking about the very, very powerful but very, very subtle and soft energy of love. Right? So you will say that by falling in love with this person and also that, not that way. There is a way of working with that energy. How will I use that energy? It cannot be done by having multiple affairs. Yes, how do I keep it fresh? Okay. So simple, so simple. So, keep it alive. How do I keep it alive? If his excitement is not love.
Taste and stretch.
It's so simple, so simple. I now direct this feeling of love into appreciation of things which are aesthetic and beautiful. So when I fell in love with the person, it was a romantic kind of love. I transformed that love into appreciative love. I now go to an art gallery and I view a painting through the eyes of love. Suddenly that painting will take on a new meaning. Suddenly some inner perception will open up which till now was hidden. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? It is the movement of the energy of love to keep that love alive. The gateway is appreciation, aesthetic appreciation in life. Now, from aesthetic appreciation, I want to move to something higher. So I practice using that energy of love, right? Maybe I go to an art gallery. So there are two things happening now. The perception is changing, and there is a heightened sense of appreciation of life, of gratitude in life. Now let us talk of the two higher centers. The perception and appreciation of beauty and appreciation of beauty is in the higher emotional center. This center is active in all of us, but we have no communication with that center. It is active all 24 hours. So the perception and appreciation of beauty. So now that love has come in, right? That love gives me a heightened sense of sensitivity, and I now forget that person whom I fell in love with. It's not important. And I now direct that energy of love into a perception and appreciation of beauty. And this opens my higher emotional center. This is a practice. This is a practice. Can you see? Morning we opened it through the process of discrimination. Now, through the process of appreciation, we will reach discrimination. We are now approaching it from a different doorway. A very beautiful journey. Very, very beautiful journey. The journey of love. Now, what will happen once you direct that attention into the appreciation of beauty, into the perception of beauty, you are directing that energy, what will happen in your daily life? What will happen in your daily life? What will happen? All your personal actions, all your personal thinking, right? All the personal life, the small things you are doing in life, that appreciation and perception will start filtering down. Not only will it change the perception of your life, but every moment what you are doing in life will be beautiful and you will have an appreciation of it. Can you see what is happening? Now, so all actions will now be soaked in love and beauty. Beauty. All actions in life. So, then it is not what you are doing in life. You may be working on your computer, but it is now not just working. There is a beauty in everything you are doing. There is an appreciation of what is happening every moment. There is a different perception of that working. There will be no negativity. You will never be able to get angry on anyone. You will never react with anyone. Because each moment you are extracting what the Vaishnavas call rasa. The joy of life. The joy of life. This is the meaning of Ras. Radhe Krishna. Ras. Where the dance, every moment, the dance of life, you're extracting that joy. It doesn't happen what is it. You may be going for an operation. And you'll say, okay, anesthetic, this pain, that pain, etc. But even in that, you'll extract the beauty of life. It doesn't happen where you are. So that heightened sense of love, you direct it to appreciation of life, appreciation of beauty. Turn it into that direction. And that will bring back life 100-fold to you. It bring back joy 100-fold to you. Now something else will happen. This perception will change. What will it change to? What will it change to? Yesterday we talked about it. This perception will change. Yes, of what? Of what? Understanding. It will open the higher intellectual center. But how? How? How will it open the higher intellectual center? Yesterday we talked about it. Keep the sex center, we'll talk about it later. How will the perception in the higher intellectual, what did I say yesterday was in the higher intellectual center? Knowledge, understanding, and perception of the fundamental laws of the universe. The law of 3 and the law of 7. Suddenly you will now see your love has really expanded. It has expanded your consciousness, that your perception now sees the movement of law in everything. Nothing is happening which is chaos in life. If a person is crying over in here, you can see the operation of the law of 3 and the law of 7 in that person's crying. You see another person is in depression, you can see the movement of law of 3 and the law of 7 in that person's life. Why he has come in this state. Suddenly the parda, the curtain has dropped. And each moment in your life there is a perception of law. There is a perception of law, the working of the higher laws. So just from that small beginning where you fell in love with somebody, you moved through a heightened aesthetic, a heightened aesthetic perception. That perception filtered into your daily actions, and that in return opened a new perception of law. Everything in life happens according to these two laws. Right. And you will see the movement of these laws. Now something else will happen. One final thing. What will happen? Tell me. What will happen? You will not only see the perception of the laws, but there will be appreciation. In the higher emotional there was appreciation of beauty, but now there will be, oh, God has made everything according to law. Can you see now the beauty of the law? Can you see what a joy life will be? Each moment you're seeing the workings of these two laws and you're appreciating the Creator in every moment. How nothing, this supreme intelligence is working according to law. There's no chaos anywhere. Nothing is outside of law. Can you see? And that is the higher intellectual and the higher emotional. This time I'm not going to talk. Who's mentioned sex center? Somebody? I won't talk about it because I want to prepare some notes on that and I've not been able to. But the sex center does come in over here. It does come in because sometimes the higher intellectual is active, sometimes the higher emotional is active. One becomes passive, one becomes active, and it is the sex center in between which balances both these centers. Right? But I can only talk about it at some other time. I won't talk about it just now. Right? We'll talk about it some other time. Right? So you're very true. The sex center is active because everything is again the law of 3. So we have higher emotional, higher intellectual, but the one which is playing balance between the two is the sex center. Right? Similarly in life, we have the instinctive center. What is in the instinctive center? The 5 senses. So every moment life is coming in through the instinctive center. Right? And when I'm acting out, I see you and I say, would you like this? Right? This is the moving center. So there is an instinctive center and a moving center. Again, we learn how to balance these two centers by using the sex center. So even in the lower we use the sex center as a balance, even in the higher we use the sex center in a balance. We'll take that the next time we meet, not this time.